We had legal segregation 50 years ago, and now we have a situation where if a guy says something outrageous, like a Bundy or a Sterling, they're done, instantly done. If that doesn't speak to the incredible changes in the mindset and in the thinking of the country, nothing does. I think this is probably one of the most remarkable changes in the thinking of a country in world history, and we did it deliberately.
All right, Charles Krauthammer, ladies and gentlemen, saying that the Donald Sterling incident points to, in fact, the progress we have made based on the reaction, based on the outrage, and this, of course, is not an isolated incident. There have been others. Joining us now to talk about that and much, much more about this incident is our friend Roland Martin, host and editor of NewsOne Now. It's on TV1. He's also, of course, syndicated columnist. Hello, Roland.
Hey, what's happening, Steve?
Always great to talk to you. Okay, so what do you think about Charles's point here to start off anyway, where, you know, this fast response, this quick action, this outrage dominating the news cycle and here and abroad speaks to how far we have come on the issue of race?
Well, you know, it's very interesting. I've been on my show for the past few weeks when we talked about the issue of race. I've sort of used 1970 as a marker, and the reason I do that because I look at the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, I look at the Fair Housing Act, I look at Nixon coming in, affirmative action, King's death in '68. So I just sort of use 70 as a marker. And think about this, Steve. If you use quotations around, you know, fully free for African Americans, we're only talking about 44 years. 44 years. I'm 45. And even though you've had lawsuits, you still had racial profiling, you still had all the different things, but the reality is in terms of knocking down Jim Crow, taking the signs down, 44 years. And so there's no doubt, I mean, it is undeniable that we have come a long way. But if you read Dr. King's book, Chaos for Community, where do we go from here? One of the things that he said the next phase is what is going to be the most difficult phase. He wrote in '67 that it didn't cost America much to integrate lunch counters, integrate schools and pools, things along those lines. He said the next issue comes with full equality. He said, and how do we change the hearts and minds of people? He said that is going to be the hardest task of America.
Oh, very, very interesting. So to an extent, you agree with Krauthammer's principle of his main point.
Of course. I mean, first of all, you can't look around and not say that, well, you know, we have not come a long way. I mean, you can talk about, you know, look, I gave a speech at Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee, commencement speech on Sunday, and I was staying at a Courtyard Marriott. I would not have been able to walk through the front door. When you talk about other opportunities, so there's no doubt we have changed. No doubt we have even gotten better. But the thing that the Donald Sterling situation has really reminded folks, and even Clive and Bundy, is that it's not like it has totally gone away. Somehow it's not there. You can go to the EEOC website right now and see the litany of racial discrimination lawsuits that have been settled and filed and things along those lines. It's still there when you talk about discipline in school, when you talk about things along those lines, racial disparities when it comes to health, it's still there. We have come a long way, but we also have a long way to go. I think part of the problem, Steve, is when people act as if, oh, my goodness, everything is just, you know, everything has been fixed, it's all good, everything is straight, without realizing that, no, it's not quite the case.
All right, let me ask you about the NAACP and your view. Not only, of course, did they give this man one Lifetime Achievement Award, he was scheduled in a week or so to get another Lifetime Achievement Award from the NAACP. I thought you get one, if you get one at all, and that has been canceled. but according to ABC News, and they're quoting the NAACP, they are willing to forgive Donald Sterling after yanking the award. They say, and I'll tell you who said this exactly. Leon Jenkins, I believe, said that God teaches us to forgive. The way I look at it, after a sustained period of proof to the African American community that those words don't reflect his heart, I think there's room for forgiveness. I wouldn't be a Christian if I said there wasn't. Yeah, this is Jenkins. And then he said, we are negotiating with him about giving more monies to African American students at UCLA, and so we're in preliminary discussions, although they have not talked to him again since this news broke. So what do you think of where the NAACP has fallen on this and now falls on it as of today?
I think first, there are some issues that are problematic when it comes to this chapter. When you deal with the issue of Donald Sterling and his history. Now, I absolutely believe that people can change. I absolutely believe that people can alter their views. I mean, there are a number of people who forgave George Wallace. And remember, he stood there at his inauguration and said, "Segregation now, today and forever." And so, but the issue with this chapter is, first of all, I mean, you said I said the same thing when the interim national president was on my show on TV One. How do you give somebody a lifetime achievement award twice?
Yeah, what do you say to that?
Right, I mean that's just, I mean, and so clearly, I have not talked to Jenkins. I have not talked to the president. But if I was willing to place a wager on this, I wouldn't be surprised if he is a new president. And so he made the decision versus the old president. And look, people do make donations and things along those lines. But the issue here is not just, oh, hey, you can help some students and things along those lines. It still points back to treatment. I just don't believe, Steve, that money absolves everything. Now, this might be America. It might be capitalism. A lot of people might think, hey, it's all about the check. But still, it speaks to a whole lot. And so when you listen to and look, I played nearly the entire excerpt. So I didn't play like 60 seconds or 90 seconds. I mean, I played almost all 15 minutes of my show. This is not a guy who just sort of has a couple of thoughts.
So you believe?
So the incident. So I get NAACP in terms of the notion of forgiveness. I agree. My suggestion to Jenkins is right now, shut up about this whole idea of negotiating and getting a check and stuff along those lines, because this is a much bigger deal than you trying to get a check out of a rich guy.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let me ask you about the reaction of the NBA owners, at least prior to, of course, the Commissioner Silver's decision. And for instance, there has not been much of a reaction. But Mark Cuban, interesting.
No, there's been. I mean,
just so the people know, Mark Cuban, said that the racism is despicable, blah blah blah. He said, but we're going down a slippery slope, and I guess the slippery slope is, and I'm not defending it. I'm just trying to get inside Mark Cuban's mind and get your reaction, that these remarks were private and illegally taped, and that it could happen to any one of us, or more specifically in Cuban's mind, it could happen to any one of them. So, I mean, does that...
Well, first of all, from a factual standpoint, we don't know if they were illegally taped. So we don't know if that was a recording system. First of all, like I say, I played it. You hear that recording, Steve? It wasn't like somebody set an iPhone on a table and it picked up everything. I mean, it was really, really clear. And for her to say she has more than 100 hours, and so we don't know that. So we're assuming that we simply don't know if it was illegally recorded, because in California you have to have two-party consent. We
right.
don't know if the
That's
guy
what I'm saying.
put a recording system.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But second thing is, Mark Cuban is right. It is a slippery slope, because you don't know. Is it correct that these were private comments? Yes, it is. Is it correct that they were recording a conversation between him and his girlfriend, or she wasn't a girlfriend or whatever? That's absolutely correct. But Mark Cuban understands that when you are one of 31 owners, you are part of a collective body. And so you don't simply exist in a world unto yourself. So it's not like, so Mark Cuban understands that he is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, but he is a part of a collective. Mark Cuban can't just go out and negotiate whatever kind of deal he wants to with corporate America. He has to do so within the confines of the collective. And so what is happening here, Mickey Harrison, the owner of the Miami Heat, Leslie Alexander, the owner of the Houston Rockets, you have Paul Allen with the Portland Trail Blazers, Michael Jordan, Charlotte Bobcats, the owner there in Atlanta. Several owners, Dan Gilbert in Cleveland, have come out with some tough statements against Donald Sterling. They now understand that their interests are now being impacted.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so,
yeah.
And remember, in baseball, Marshall was stripped of her team.
Yes.
Remember, in football,
She said She said Hitler wasn't so bad at the beginning.
Right, and also her Nazi
collection. Yeah.
And don't remember, Eddie DeBartolo was stripped of his ownership and forced to sell because of his so-called ties to mobsters or illegal, whatever the heck. So now those sports are different because they have antitrust.
Roland,
I understand his point.
We're just about out of time, but listen, great conversation. I appreciate it, and I thank you for your time. Catch Roland Martin, of course, on his show NewsOne Now on TV1, and read his syndicated column all over the country. Roland, always great to talk to you, my friend.
Thanks, Steve. Have a great one.
Thank you. Roland Martin, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're coming back with Gimme 5 right here on the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax TV.